Hello. Welcome to HR Notes to File, where we discuss PHR and SPHR exam topics, but also where we discuss the happenings of our HR discipline as a whole. And today we have a very interesting topic for you today. It's this concept of ghosting. And it comes from an article that was posted on LinkedIn titled, "People Are Ghosting at Work and It's Driving Companies Crazy." So if you want to look up that article, it's published on June 23rd. Again, it's on LinkedIn, called "People Are Ghosting at Work and It's Driving Companies Crazy." Now let's talk about what ghosting is. If you aren't aware of it, most of our recruiting folks will be aware of what that term is. But it's when a job applicant, or even recruiters or hiring managers on the company side of this, they're culprits of ghosting as well. It's when they ceased communication. So you've been talking back and forth, you've scheduled some interviews, and you just stop the conversation in the middle of nowhere without telling anyone. Now, there's a few reasons why they list on here this could be happening, and one is they're saying that a lot of this is due to inexperience. A lot of people don't know that they should be communicating with the recruiters and hiring managers if they've accepted a job offer somewhere else. It's totally fine. It happens. It's expected that you're going to have multiple job offers, and you're going to pick one over the other for any type of reason. And it isn't always pay. Maybe the pay was equal, but one job offer had a better career path. The other one had a better or shorter commute time. So that's one of the reasons why they're saying is just due to inexperience. They don't know that they should be telling people, "Hey, I'm out." I have no idea why someone wouldn't know that, but to each their own. I think part of it also probably has to do with confrontation. You get people who just don't want to deal with that confrontation. And that's okay. You don't have to call them to tell them that you're out. You can send them an email. You have the recruiters or the hiring manager's email addresses. They give it to you, right? When they hand you that business card, they give it to you. So you can email them. Again, this comes from the company side as well. Recruiters, HR managers, hiring managers. You guys don't call people back either. So that's a huge reason huge thing what I do is that if I have brought you in to interview, you will get a response from me, whether if we're going with you or not. You will get a thank you but no thank you email, a lot more polite than that, letting you know, so you at least know where you stand with us, and you're not sitting by the phone on a Friday night waiting for somebody to call you when they're not going to call you. Some of the things that they say may be the reason is that again, communicating. Maybe they just weren't that serious about your job to begin with. So they were entertaining your job until better offers came along. Or they went on a whole bunch of interviews and they're kind of trying to hedge their bets because they don't want to say no to your job until their dream job gets back to them. Think back to your days when you were applying to college, when you were waiting for your dream school to tell you if you got in or not before you told your other schools if you were going to commit to them. Same thing in the workplace, right? You're waiting for the super cute basketball captain to ask you to prom before you agree to go with, I don't want to disrespect anybody, but, the head of the band, whatever. So that's another reason why they give that could be potentially happening is that they just don't want to communicate to you. They're just not that into you. Sorry. So some things some suggestions that they're giving for how to combat this is they're saying in the article to make sure that you're interviewing continuously, because you don't know how long it's going to take you to actually close that job. And don't be a job where you have to go through background checks and drug tests and security checks and all of these things, because then it can make the whole process even longer and they're completely checked out and taking a complete other job offer. Okay, so in the market that we're in right now, you got to understand that you're going to be continuously interviewing. There's no way around that. If you are a recruiter or a hiring manager, this is the job. This is what you signed up to. Grind, grind, grind. And the other thing that they say here is that people really, in the talent market have learned this behavior from companies, from recruiters, from hiring managers. So to all of my HR folks out there listening to this, Don't be that person. Let your candidates know if you're not going with them, especially if you took the time to bring them in to meet you. That's my rule of thumb, is that if I bring you in for a face-to-face interview, then I have an obligation to let you know where we stand with you, whether if that's we're going to move you to the next step, or if it's, again, that thank you but no thank you type of email. So if you don't want people doing this to you, make sure that you're not doing this to your candidate pipeline as well. One of the things they say in here is that hiring managers have a really, really long memory. So they have candidates who are ghosting on them, and then they apply for a job with that company 6 months later, and they've blackballed them because their memory was long, that they ghosted them. Candidates have the same type of mindset when it comes to your company, your brand, your reputation. And don't think they're not, running it through the mud. Hey, I went on 3 interviews with that company. They had the audacity to not call me back and tell me if I was going to the next round or if I was not going to the next round. Or you've heard this before. I went on 3 interviews with them. My last interview was a month ago, and I haven't heard a single thing back yet. So, to make a long story short, no one, please don't ghost people. Employers, don't ghost candidates. Candidates, don't ghost employers. And don't even get me started on the ghosting in the dating scene, because that's just tacky and rude. So thanks for stopping by HR Notes to File. Leave me some comments in the comment section about some great ghosting stories of how either you've ghosted on an employer, which is shady, but kind of funny, or how you've been ghosted on as a recruiter or an HR manager. As always, thanks for stopping by HR Notes to File. You have a good one.